Black is the color of beauty and royalty. A people blessed with rich culture and heritage. Africa, the motherland, the cradle of civilization and originality. We tell our stories in our own way, through the lens of the past and present. This is African history and culture. Ibadan lo mo, o mo Layipo. Translated as you know Ibadan, you don't know Layipo. If you ever get to hear this saying among the Ibadans, you may not understand until someone who has a hang of history tell you this story. What exactly is Layipo? Layipo, also known as Boa's Tower, is located on Okeare, the highest hill in Ibadan. Okeare, the Army Chief's Hill, is the site central in Sapati area. The monument was erected in 1836 as a memorial to Captain Robert Lister Boa, the first British resident in Ibadan, and the traveling commissioner for the interior of Yoruba land, southwestern Nigeria, between 1893 and 1897. This tower is a 60 feet high and 11 feet square structure with 2 entrances and a spiral staircase that leads to the top of the tower. The Boa's Tower was designed by Taffy Jones, the same engineer that designed Mapo Hall. From the top of the tower, the ancient city lays before you, spread out in a splendor. But today, getting to the peak of the tower will not make one see more than 1/3 of the great city of the warriors. Let me tell you about Layipo. Let me take you to the past. The Oyo Empire was one of the most politically important states in Western Africa from the mid-17th to the late 18th century and held sway not only over most of the other kingdoms in Yoruba land, but also over nearby African states, notably the Fon Kingdom of Dahomey in the modern Republic of Benin on its west. The empire grew to become the largest Yoruba-speaking state through the organizational and administrative efforts of the Yoruba people, trade, commerce, as well as the military use of cavalry. This is African history and culture. Listen closely. Learn something about Africa. In the 18th century, the Yorubas had a misunderstanding among themselves, and the main cause of the fight was tributes. What was tribute like in the old Yoruba land? A homage paid to the king by provincial governors and tributary leaders, which includes contributing troops under local generalship to the imperial army in times of war, farm produce, animals, and anything presentable to the king. But it got to a point where oppression and maltreatment was the order of the day among tributaries. There was Kereje, Ekiti Parapo, Sodeke, Sulugambari, Afonja, Alaafin, and Kurumi war, all from internal issues among the Yorubas. And as at that time, they were still under the colonization of the British, and then Victoria I of England sent Captain Boa to settle the conflicts among the Yorubas. And so for Bowen to get first-hand information and relate with the powerful in the land, he stationed himself in Ibadan because they had great warriors like Bashorun Ogunmola, Ibikunle, Are Latosha, Oluyole, Balogun Oderinlo, and many more, which other towns will hire because of their power and strength for war. And then he discovered Okearemo as a watch point where he could be able to see the whole Ibadan before its extension as it is today. He made use of his binocular glass to see the warriors afar off, thereby gathering warriors to approach them before entering the city to settle their dispute, to avoid bloodshed and slitting of throats. He spent 4 years in Yoruba land and later went back to where he came from. So the Boaz Tower was erected in his name in 1936 to honor him for being a true peacemaker in the land of Yoruba. The tower stands 60 feet tall with 47 spiral steps on both sides with 2 entrances in and out. So how did the name Layipo come to be? The chiefs of the land as at then came to the tower to enjoy beautiful views of the city, but because of the spiral steps making them turn around and round before getting to the top of the tower. This turning is what Yoruba call Yipo. To turn is Yipo, and so the name Layipo. What makes us turn around and round and around. The structure became an integral part of Ibadan, and for visitors that only know the plains of the city, residents can simply identify them by their behavior, accent, or questions. And so they say, Ibadan Lomo, O Layipo. Although that saying has been given a street meaning today, which can mean you only know Ibadan, but you don't understand the tricks and gimmicks of the people. Contrary to this new meaning, it only refers to the ancients in Ibadan, those who understand the story and the beginning of Ibadan, those who know Layipo, talking about Boaz Tower. Ibadan Lomo, oh Layipo. If you're in Ibadan, it's a nice place to visit. Getting there is easy. From anywhere within Ibadan, ask how you can get to Bere Junction. From Bere, take a bike to Boa Tower. Anyone with a good vision can see the Cocoa House building, different toll gates from the top of the tower. One can also see the whole of UCH, University of Ibadan, the Polytechnic of Ibadan, Adamasingba Stadium, and the colorful conference of rustic brown metal roofs, which covers a larger percentage of the building and has become a hallmark and trademark of the Ibadan city. Ibadan Lomo, oh Layipo. Thank you for following African history and culture. Our next episode will be another interesting piece of African history. Remember, be proud of your heritage. Be yourself.